Hey guys, here are my top 5 tips for improving your strength and your coordination for partnering. We all know that dance is difficult, but one of the hardest things that we have to do as a training dancer is to learn how to partner better. And doing that requires a lot of coordination, requires a lot of strength, and requires a lot of skill. So my tips are going to help you to improve your strength, improve your coordination, and improve your skill so that when you get into the studio, you're able to partner with safety, security, and prowess. Tip number 1, stability is everything. When we're partnering, we need to make sure that we are as stable as possible to help the dancer that we're lifting or moving or turning or promenading to be able to be stable on their own legs, which means that our base has to be super secure. So building stability is your first point of action. Here are a couple of exercises that we can use to help build stability. Your first one is going to be standing with your feet in parallel, about shoulder width apart. You're going to bend your knees, you're going to close your eyes, and you're going to rock to the front, to the back, to the side, and over to the side. And you can do that 10 times. So going forward, back, side, and side. And what we're doing with this is we're waking up the proprioception in our feet. So when you're partnering, your base is as stable as possible. One of the biggest things that I see with young dancers when they're learning to partner is they try to stand in really turned out ballet classical positions, which actually reduces their stability in the positions they're standing in. And then their partner ends up falling over because they can't hold themselves up. Sometimes that means the partner standing behind the dancer that's being partnered is in almost the first position like this, or if they're partnering a pirouette, they're turned out like this. And that turnout is actually reducing their stability. So once you've worked on and developed that proprioception, what you want to do is you want to find the position where you're stable on 2 feet, not with your feet super wide like this, because we don't want to see your legs on either side of the person that's dancing in front of us. But we want to have stability with our feet. So we're not super turned out in a first position, but we're also not way out in this wide position, unless we're partnering a pirouette. Partnering pirouettes is a specific skill that we need to develop because we have to allow our partner's knee to be able to pass us so we don't get hit while they're turning. So the key to partnering a turn is that the foot that is going to have them pass us first is going to be slightly behind our other foot, making sure that when they turn, their knee passes and it won't hit us as they turn. Beauty of that slightly staggered position is that it also puts us in a more stable place, because when our feet are in line, we're not able to get as nice a strong base as we are when our feet are slightly staggered. So the key here is going to be making sure that we learn what our stable positions are. If we're standing with 2 feet together, let's say we're helping for an échappé or we're lifting, that makes our feet in this kind of slightly turned out parallel position. So we're not going to be perfectly parallel like this. Our heels are together, our toes are slightly out. It creates a nice triangular base for our feet. And if we're partnering someone in a turn, we're going to want to step 1 foot back from that position, slightly staggered, not too wide, not too close together, just enough that we're not taking away from the performance, but we're also giving us a nice strong base for our partnering. When it comes to increased proprioception, we can also do that on 1 foot. So after you found your base position, you've worked on that rocking forward, side to side, you're going to stand on 1 foot, close your eyes, and put on a timer and try to balance for 1 minute. So you set that 1 minute timer, you stay with your eyes closed, and you work on balancing on that 1 foot. Again, it's going to help to develop that proprioception, and over time, your stability on your feet is going to get that much better because of this practice. So tip number 1 is all about stability, making sure that you have a strong base, you've developed the proprioception in your feet, and you know where your strongest positions are so that you can adequately partner the person standing in front of you. Tip number 2 is all about grip strength. How strong can you help your partner with your hands? Are they going to fatigue super quickly, or are you going to have the strength to hold them through a 5 to 10 minute pas de deux? Remember, after my first partnering class, the absolute most pain that I had was in my thumbs because my hands were trying to grip so much with my fingers and I hadn't used my palms enough or learned how to connect that grip strength to actually help my partner. So learning how to do that took lots of time. And this is a tool that you can use, that you can get, that actually helps to hold your grip strength while being challenged with an active movement. This little ball rotates and it's a gyroscope. And as it's working, it's strengthening your forearm and it's helping to increase the power and grip that you have in your hands. Just doing 1 minute of this in each hand every day is actually going to help to strengthen your hands so that when you're holding on to your partner, your hands don't fatigue too quickly and you've got the strength to help them through the entire pas de deux. So this little device is called a gyro ball and you can get it on Amazon. But basically what you do is you pick this up, you spin it, and then you try and hold on to it as you spin your wrist. It helps to strengthen your forearms, helps to strengthen your grip. It's going to make sure that when you go into your partnering, your hands and your grip are strong enough to support your partner. Another tool is a grip strength squeeze tool like this. So basically what you do is you put it in your palm, you grip it with your fingers, and you try to squeeze the grip strength together. What that does is, if we think about partnering, when we squeeze, we're not just squeezing with our fingers, we're actually trying to get our palms into our partner and wrapping our thumbs behind to then give that strength and that support to lift up. So if we're just using our fingers, we're not getting that whole hand strength that you're going to end up needing for your partnering. You're probably wondering what the kettlebell and the bars there are going to help with. Basically, we're also thinking about grip strength as endurance. So when you pick something up that's heavy and you hold on to it, think like maybe carrying a bag of groceries or a heavy bag in your hands. That's going to help your grip strength to hold for a long period of time. Another way that you can do this is to go over to a bar, hang from the bar, and try to use that as your endurance to stabilize and strengthen your hands over time. Trust me, guys, your partners will thank you when your hands are strong, you're able to pull them up off of their point shoes, and you're able to support them in their lifts because your hands are not fatiguing when you're lifting them. Tip number 3, get really strong in holding at the mid-range of the body. So when I take a weight like this, a lot of the partnering we do is between here and here, here and here. And so in that range of motion, we need to get very strong at holding things. So taking a weight like this, rotating side to side, lunging with that weight, moving our balance around, being dynamic while lifting within these 2 points from waist height to shoulder height is going to help to strengthen your ability to hold your partner within that range. You can do that with a Y bell like this. You can do that with a kettlebell. Basically anything that's going to give us this kind of press in and ability to move side to side or up and down, that's going to give us that stability and strength within that range of motion. Think about moving your partner forward or side to side. Think about moving your partner side to side, forward, back, turning with them. All of that requires a lot of core and back strength, but it also requires stability within that range. And when we get into lifting, especially simple sautés, from waist height to shoulder height is where you have to be most powerful in the beginning of your lift. So having that ability to stabilize between those 2 points and even develop some up and down strength is going to help your lifts be really, really strong and secure. So here's an exercise you can employ into your programming to mimic this. You're going to lunge to the side, extend the weight, back in, together, side, extend, in, together. As you're doing this, it's not just holding up and down like this. You almost want to think like you're pushing the weight together. So palms are pressing towards each other as you're holding onto that weight, engaging your lats, engaging your serratus, engaging your core. And as you come over, push in as you extend, come back together. Over, push in as you extend, and come back together. Add that to your programming. You're not just training your legs for stability, you're also training your upper body for strength. Tip number 4, when it comes to lifting, we need to make sure that our overhead is more powerful than our horizontal. While it's possible to do things where we throw across in dance, and we do often lift in that way, most of the most powerful lifts that we do are going to be from about this height to above our head. While building our shoulder strength is important because we're going to have to get to that point, we also need to build that in a compound manner, meaning we have to connect that with our legs, because it's very rare that anybody just lifts from here without any bend in their knees and puts somebody over their head. This is why things like Olympic lifting can be really helpful. So grabbing a bar nice and wide, bending forward until it passes our knees, using this to get the weight over our head, a little bit of momentum is going to train our body to use our legs together with our body to help do that overhead movement. When you're approaching learning how to do Olympic lifts, make sure you find a coach who can take you through the process of learning how to do it correctly so that you're building that coordination and strength in the most safe and productive manner. I recently did a video where I showed strengthening here, and then doing all of the full range is a way that you can help to increase your overall lifting condition, endurance, and strength. The number one place that I see young dancers fail in an overhead press is the first part where they have their hands on the waist and the leg of the person they're partnering, and they go to lift, but they don't get it above their head rapidly. And then they're stuck in this heaviest point of the lift as opposed to the lightest point of the lift at the end. So what training those three ranges of motion does, the short range just through the head, the range above the head, and then the range from shoulder all the way up, is you're training the body to be able to work in all three ranges with equal strength. So the number one tip that I give when it comes to making sure that your press lift goes smoothly is to start so that when you go to lift your partner, one under the leg, one on the waist, you get your body low enough so that your press can come from this point where your elbows are at shoulder height, not your wrists are at shoulder height. It does take lots of practice and should always be done with a spotter to make sure that you're in the right position, but also make sure that you have the strength and stability for tip number one to be able to hold both yourself and your partner on their leg as you go to transition into that lift. Then, once you've gotten there, speed of movement is going to be very important. So if I were to get low enough that I'm here, I'm going to press, I have to think as I press, my arms are pushing as fast as possible. Specifically, when I then have a partner, the hand that's on the body is going to push faster than the hand that's on the leg. Because if I push leg first, that leg is going to go faster than this hand. And what's going to end up happening is they're going to tip over in the lift. All of their weight goes onto your front hand, and you end up losing that lift. In ballet lifting, the lockout is really important because once you get them up there, you're not just putting them back down again, you have to hold and often walk or move within that position. So locking out the elbows at the top is going to help you to stabilize at the top of that lift. My fifth and final tip, guys, comes down to core and back stability, because you can have all of the balance in your feet, you can have all of the power, but if you go to lift and your back gives out and you arch and you try to compensate for weaknesses because your core and your back are not strong enough, then when you go into partnering, you're going to end up injuring yourself. So one of my favorite exercises to stabilize your core and your back is to come down to the floor. And the first one is going to be a dead bug. You're going to put your hands against your knees. You're going to lie on your back, keeping your low back grounded into the floor. Push as hard as you can and hold for up to a minute. I find this to be more beneficial than a plank because the positioning is easier to find. You're engaging your transverse abdominis and your diaphragm, and you're connecting that in a pressure position, which is what you're in when you have someone above your head. It's also harder to cheat because your low back can't really arch the same way it can in a plank. From there, I would progress that movement to a hollow hold with my arms overhead. So we're working on that core strength with our arms above our head, making sure we're stabilizing, keeping our low back in the ground, head off the ground, legs out to the front, and holding for up to a minute. We also want to ensure that the muscles in our low back, our rectus spinae, and our quadratus lumborum are strong enough to support us when we're dancing and when we're lifting. Strengthening the rectus spinae can be as simple as coming into a bird dog, making sure that when we extend the arm and the leg, we're holding, not arching into the low back. We can then take that down to the floor and extend opposite sides. We can also then do that in a plank position. Here we're getting a little bit more glute and core engagement. And then we're going to take that into our quadratus lumborum exercises, where we're going over to the side and coming back up. This gets a little bit of oblique as well, but it's going to help to strengthen those muscles that help us when we're bending side to side. Basically, the whole purpose of this is to understand that your body needs to be conditioned, stable, strong, and have enough endurance to support another human being in front of you while you're dancing. I hope you found this video helpful, guys. Let me know down in the comments which tip was the most beneficial to you, which one you're going to start working on. And then also make sure to hit that subscribe button so that the next time I post a video, you're the first one to be notified. And of course, remember, guys, progress doesn't happen overnight. So keep practicing for many years.